This is Josh Holden with the top 10 best movie villains of all time. Got all your favorite crazies, loonies, wackos, and all-around badasses to ever grace the silver screen. So let's not waste any time and get started right now with number 10. Got Samuel L. Jackson as Jules Winfield, my man in Englewood from 1994's Pulp Fiction. Along with John Travolta, they were nominated for Best Supporting Actor, neither of which won, but the movie itself was nominated for a host of Academy Awards, and this movie pretty much put Samuel L. Jackson on the map. Famous for spouting off his Bible verses before he killed people, he was just one cool, badass motherfucker, just like his wallet said. Coming in at number 9, we have Gary Oldman as Stanfield in The Professional, also known as Leon the Professional, from 1994. No nominations came out of this movie, even though a few people probably should have gotten some kind of nod. But here we had Gary Oldman he was a corrupt cop, completely anxiety-ridden, crazy, relentless. Something about him every time he stepped on the screen, you just felt like something bad was going to happen. He just stood out so much. Especially each time he'd take his drugs by cracking the pills in his mouth. It was a funny little quirk that he had. Coming in at number 8, Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher Cutting in 2003's Gangs of New York from Martin Scorsese. Daniel Day-Lewis was nominated for this film, as he should have been. He's probably one of the best actors of all time, if not the best of his generation. And man, he was just one scary person in this movie. Pure sociopath, took what he wanted when he wanted, didn't care who he had to kill in his path. It's his world, we were just living in it. Number 7, Denzel Washington as Alonzo in 2001's Training Day. Denzel Washington won the Academy Award for this movie for Best Actor, and deservedly so. Denzel Washington, of course, one of the best actors of all time. And this guy was just a cool, calm, calculated, scary guy. He had everything well thought out. Every scene showed how evil he was. And he didn't care what laws he broke. He was going to get his way, no matter what. Coming in at number 6, one of the most iconic American actors of all time, Mr. Jack Nicholson, where he reinvented the Joker for 1989's Batman. Here he took the classic Batman from the TV series and mixed in Tim Burton's dark, twisted view of the world and created just a sinister, greedy gangster who wanted to take down Gotham City, didn't care about money, just wanted to run the world. Coming in at number 5, in one of the greatest action films of all time, from 1998's Die Hard, Mr. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber. No nominations came out of this movie for him, although it should have. Alan Rickman also, in a way, reinvented the way villains were looked at. He set the benchmark for all the future European villains that would be featured in American movies. Coming in at number 4, another villain from the mind of Quentin Tarantino. From 2009's Inglourious Basterds, we have Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa, the Jew hunter. It was his first major American role, for which he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. The movie itself was nominated for a host of Academy Awards, but there was no bigger standout than Christoph Waltz. He took being a villain to a level that I've never seen before. Someone who was very charming, very intelligent, very sweet, and had a zest for life. He loved life, and at the same time was the most evil bastard on the planet. Amazing about his scenes is that the nicer he was, the more he laughed, the sweeter he was, you knew something very bad was coming down the pike. Well, all right, here we are. The top 3 of the top 10 best movie villains of all time. Coming in at number 3, from 2008's No Country for Old Men, Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh. Just like Christoph Waltz, this was his first major American role, for which he earned an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. The movie itself won Best Picture, Screenplay, and Director, but nothing stood out more than Javier Bardem. Out of everyone on this list, nobody has personified evil more than Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh. He basically was the angel of death. In every scene he was in, the only thing that could possibly save you was a flip of the coin. Coming in at number 2, from 2008's The Dark Knight, another reinvention of the Joker, is Heath Ledger. Now, this is not because he died like some people would say. There was just nobody more brilliant at that role than him. That's no disrespect to Jack Nicholson, who played an amazing Joker. But Heath Ledger created a Joker that was believable by today's standards. You did not have to suspend disbelief. You believed that a psychopath of this nature could possibly exist, even though the world was entirely fictitious. Every mannerism, every word, everything he spoke was pure crazy. He is the truest anarchist on this list, a true villain who did not care about money, who did not care about ruling or taking over anything. He just wanted to destroy humanity. Heath Ledger went on to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, even though he passed away shortly after this movie. And I truly do not believe that because he died, he won the Academy Award. This was his award the second that movie hit the theaters. And coming in at number 1, I'm sure this will surprise nobody. From 1991, Silence of the Lambs, is Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. Anthony Hopkins went on to win Best Actor, and this is one of the few movies in history that has won every major Academy Award. Best Actor, Actress, Director, Picture, Screenplay. Just an amazing film. But of course, nothing is more of a standout than Anthony Hopkins. I don't believe on this list there's anybody truly more terrifying than the character of Hannibal Lecter and how Anthony Hopkins played him. This character was a scholar, a genius, a highly educated man, but also a complete and total sociopathic cannibal. Someone who lived to eat people. Like the Javier Bardem character, his eyes were lifeless. He did not see humanity or feelings. He just saw what he wanted. Everything down to the little quirks, the funny ways he pronounced words, his smile, the way he psychologically dismantled human beings. There was nobody scarier than Hannibal Lecter. Well, this concludes the top 10 best movie villains of all time. Stay tuned for future lists.